We are building the biggest FPL league in the world. FPL mate, FPL Focal, the Andy Geezer. We're beating them all.
Everyone join the FPL league. Theo is doing follow-backs.
And Thogden. Which team are we starting with?
Let's start with Bournemouth, Theo. Last season they were second in the Championship. Brilliant season from Solanke and Billing and others. They've got some good players, Theo, but look at the business they've done.
Yeah.
A couple of free transfers, not good enough. 20th place.
I agree. My 20th position is Bournemouth. It's unfortunate. We spoke about Jadon Anthony, Philip Billing, all these players that did quite well in the Championship, but when they came to the Premier League last time, it wasn't so good. An example of that is Dominic Solanke. How did he do? Will he revitalise? Will he score more goals?
I'd love to see that happen, Theo. He's a young lad, he's talented, but it won't be enough.
They've gone up to the Premier League, they've got that money from promotion, and they unfortunately only spent on 2 free transfers. What sort of ambition is that?
Theo, you have to spend in the Premier League. If you don't, you go down. You become a yo-yo club like Norwich. And in 19th place, Theo, it is Fulham Football Club of London, who were amazing last season, weren't they? 106 goals, most of them by Mitrovic. But Carvalho has gone to Liverpool. Now, Fulham have spent 31 million quid on 3 players, Theo. 2 of them are João Paulinho. He's come in from Sporting, and Andreas Pereira come in from Man United. But is that enough?
Yeah, the last time Fulham got promoted, they spent over 100 million. And it was on players that some were big names, some I barely knew, and they were spending 20 plus mil. This time round, it seems they're investing in system players with a little bit more of an understanding. Kevin Mbabu's a FIFA god, and Andreas Pereira, he's a pre-season Pele. So let's see if it clicks. I'm putting them to get relegated, but if Mitro scores 20 goals, they're not going down.
18th place. Who have you got, Theo?
I find this the hardest position in the table.
I'm picking Nottingham Forest, Theo. Now, last season they were excellent. Brennan Johnson was great. Jed Spence was good, but of course he's left. They've invested over 70 million on 8 players. Taiwo Awoniyi.
See, that's part of the reason why I'm not saying Nottingham Forest to get relegated. This is where this video gets interesting. We disagree. Leeds United.
Oh my goodness. Let me continue with Nottingham Forest here, because they've signed Neco Williams and Jesse Lingard. Now, that's why I think they'll survive in the Premier League. But will they all gel? They brought in 8 new players. Fulham did that a few years ago.
Steve Cooper is an incredible manager.
True.
He came in a few games into last season, no pre-season, turned it round. They were losing games under Houghton. He is an incredible manager who has the potential to turn this around and save them. They've got great fans. They get momentum going. It will be excellent. Leeds United, on the other hand, Calvin Phillips, gone. Rafinha, gone. Yes, they've invested a pretty decent amount of money. They're probably not going to concede as many goals, but it's a massive ask for Jesse Marsch, considering they only survived by the nick of their teeth last season, and now they lost 2 of their best players.
Yeah, now Leeds have gone on a massive supermarket trolley dash, and it's really guesswork, isn't it? How will those players gel?
Bamford's back. That's like a signing. He was out the whole of last year, but will he be the same after an injury? That is all the questions that are being asked, and it's part of the reason I put them to go down. I know a lot of people are going to give me stick. I just want to move on swiftly.
And 17th, I put Leeds United, Theo, so I'm agreeing that it's going to be really, really close. Now, last season, they only won 9 games, and like you've said, Bamford and Jack Harrison, these sort of players have got to turn up and do things, haven't they, Theo?
Do you want to hear my 17th place?
I'd love to.
It's Everton Football Club.
Wow.
A big club, a big club that's had ownership problems. Their best player has gone to Tottenham Hotspur, and those are 2 of the many reasons why I think it's going to be very close. They might even go down.
Yes.
And I know it sounds crazy to you. Last year, we wouldn't even think about it. We wouldn't even blink about it.
Yeah.
They were a team with James Rodriguez over lockdown, balling out against anyone they want to. They've got a new stadium along the way. I don't know why it's going so wrong. Look at their front 3. It's going to be McNeil, Anthony Gordon, and DCL. Will that keep them up? I don't even know. Apparently, Frank Lampard has said they're going to go out and make 3 or more signings. And if they do, they will definitely survive. And they need to, because it's not good enough with the team right now. But do not go for Ross Barkley. There's been a lot of links. Do not. It will just end the same way. He's not got the right attitude for football. You need to stay away from that.
And in 16th place, Theo, and this is going to be a relegation tussle for Southampton, who were 15th last season. James Ward-Prowse is so key here. Breuer's gone. The likes of Che Adams and Adam Armstrong have really got to step up to the plate. Now, Southampton, Theo, have spent 50 million quid.
And I think you're doubting their signings.
4 of those players are very young. Now, I'm going to mention Romeo Lavia, Theo. He's an 18-year-old DM from Manchester City. 18 18 years old here. We know nothing about him. Untested.
Yeah, it's a big
Joe Aribo's come from Rangers. Now, that is a good signing.
He scored goals in Europa League finals. There's no question that's a good signing. He can play, he's versatile, can play centre forward, attacking midfield, central midfield. He's proven it in the Championship, the Scottish League, and now he's ready for the Premier League. That is a great signing for 10 million.
And I agree, Theo, but when you bring in 5 players, 4 of who are very young, will they gel? Will they get straight into the first team?
All I'll say, I'm going to extend my point. We're not going to speak about Southampton just yet, because I put them higher up the table. Ooh. I think they made good transfer business. In my 16th place, happily safe in the Premier League table, Nottingham Forest, my final promoted team.
Wow.
And the reason I do, I believe in the new signings. He's going to be next to Brennan Johnson, who's smashing it for Wales and had an incredible year at the Championship. And guess who's behind them? Jesse Lingard. That is an special attacking triangle. They're sorted. They've got a system. Steve Cooper are keeping them up.
And in 15th place, back down to London for Brentford, who were 13th last season. But my goodness, Christian Eriksen was a big part of that. Now, Ivan Toney, 12 goals last season. He's got to do that again. Do you agree with me here, Theo?
If you look at the bookies, they will put them right down there, maybe even relegation. But I agree with you with 15th position. And a lot of people, especially non-Brentford fans, are putting them lower down the table. And I think I can speak for you, me, and everybody else that has been to a Brentford game and understands how that football club is run from the inside.
Yeah.
They will not go down. They will find a Christian Eriksen replacement. And the coaching staff, Thomas Frank, the team, there is a good relationship and they will survive this Premier League season.
They brought in Ben Mee from Burnley. That's very sensible for the short term. They've also brought in Aaron Hickey, Theo. Remember him from Hearts? He's just come from Bologna. They spent, 15 million quid on him?
And now they've got a back four of Ben Mee, Pontus Jansson, Aaron Hickey, and who's it? Rico Henry. That fullback is brilliant.
I think they'll survive, and I hope they can push up to mid-table. And 14th, you've already spoken about them. It is Everton, Theo. Now, they're going to miss Richarlison, aren't they? But they brought in Tarkowski from Burnley. That is very, very sensible.
Yeah.
You spoke about Dwight McNeil. That's a good signing, but not transformational.
14th for Everton is so positive, considering their poor pre-season, losing their best player, their financial situation. Why was there no? I mean, you're very good at predicting these things. Like, if we look on history, you're up there against all the YouTubers and pundits that predict.
I just watched Everton for 50 years, Theo.
Yeah.
It's never been this bad. I can't believe there'll be a second season as bad as the last.
14th for me is Southampton. You've mentioned them already.
Yes.
I'm impressed by their transfer business. Kotchap, the young centre-back.
I prefer mayonnaise.
No, Kotchap. Sorry, Dan.
I prefer mayonnaise.
Kotchap, the 20-year-old German centre-back who played at Bochum. You're such a mug, you know.
That's a dad joke.
Another signing, Sekou Mara, 19-year-old French international, under 20s, banging in the goals. Just watch out for him. I know they've got Adam Armstrong, Che Adams, and all these boys up top, but just Sekou Mara, remember the name. I think Hazenhutel has a plan. I believe in it. I know they ended the season pretty poorly. I think they'll change it round.
In 13th place, dropping 3 places, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers there. Now, Ruben Neves is staying, I think.
You said dropping 3 places, but my early Prem predictions, I put them 16th.
You did, yeah.
But the teams around them have actually lost out. Everyone's been picking up. And this is the shame about the Premier League. This is what a transfer window does. They weaken the middle and lower tier clubs, and the best just get stronger and stronger and stronger. I mean, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, these guys could have second teams and they'd still end in the top half.
Nathan Collins, 22 million. That's
good
expensive.
Signing. Number 1, that's a good signing.
Yes.
I don't mind that. I think he's good.
Okay.
He did it right on his day. Number 2, they've kept all their players.
Yes.
And didn't allow Morgan Gibbs-White to go back to Sheffield United. And what that means is they now got a creative midfielder which could stop their problem of not scoring enough goals.
Yes.
Hwang Ki-chan on a permanent. Raul Jimenez, we can't forget. I think he misses the first few games, but with Pedro Neto full fit.
Yes.
He's had a good pre-season. Last season we didn't see that. Podence on the other side.
Yes.
I think Wolves look all right now. It's a drop-off, but at the same time, they're well safe, and with more investment, they can kick on.
In 12th place and winning the M23 rivalry is Crystal Palace, Theo. And this is a team that I like a lot. Great manager. They've got some great defenders, Mark Guehi, Tyrick Mitchell, Joachim Anderson. You've got some exciting players up front. They can do higher than this, can't they?
Dad, you've been reading my notes. My 12th position is also Crystal Palace.
Wow.
And what I don't get is how they've got such a long list of players and they keep them all pretty mentally motivated.
Yes.
Usually when you have a big squad, it's hard to motivate because you're going to get less game time. But Patrick Vieira has been clever here and he's made a few more signings. The new 5 sub rule means they're going to be so outnumbering opponents in terms of power and flair and fitness. Eze, Elise, Benteke, Edouard, Mateta, Zaha, Dad, if they fully utilise this new sub-rule, Crystal Palace could even sneak into the top 10 and kick on, and soon enough, they'll be playing European football. They're going in the right direction, as long as it all doesn't kick off in the changing room.
Yeah, they brought in Czech Decore there from Lons. He's
beast.
a 22-year-old DM there. I don't know much about him.
He's a beast. He's tall. He'll stick a tackle in. He is a Conor Gallagher replacement because they're not getting him back. He can also drive with the ball, and he's got this ability. He's a big lad, but he can dribble past people in the French league. If you can do it in the Prem, mate, they're sorted. I tell you what, they're going in the right direction, that club. And big up Sam Johnson as well. What a legend.
And in 11th place, Theo, it's
Brighton. Wait, have you?
Yes, I have. I agree with you. So we're staying with the M23. Now, Yves Bissouma has gone, Theo, and this is a big loss, isn't it?
So when we look back, when we react to the Premier League table,
I know.
At least we can both be wrong together. The reason I've gone with Brighton 11th, and it's a surprise because they've lost Bissouma, arguably their best player. We can't forget Deniz Undav has finally made his move over to England, and Enciso, a very exciting Paraguayan young player. He's already in the pre-season. They've got the Japanese lad who's playing left wing back in pre-season, Mitomo. I think the whole team could just turn up. Caicedo, young holding midfielder. He's got a big job to fill the boots of Bissouma, who's missing. How do you think they'll do?
Well, we're big fans of Cucurella and Tariq Lamptey, aren't we,
Dad,
Theo?
I've got an update. Cucurella, apparently talks are breaking down between him and Man City.
Wow.
And if he stays, Brighton go for top 10, who knows? Lamptey also had a long-term, a little bit of an injury blip last season. So if him and Cucurella get regular game time together, Brighton are looking a force to be reckoned with. And under Graham Potter, you've got a great manager. Maybe the future of England. With England coming up as well, you might have a few of the English boys smashing it. Before we get on to the second half of the video, go follow our YouTube Shorts page. It's called Thogden Shorts. If you don't follow, you're not getting a Mars bar.
And in 10th place, rising 4 places there, it is Aston Villa. And the reason for this is some of the signings that they've made. We know all about Coutinho. He is absolute gold standard in the Premier League. But what about Diego Carlos from Sevilla, Boubacar Kamara? I mean, Marseille fans love him. I'd like to see more from Buendia, from Leon Bailey. I think there's players there who underperformed last year.
And my 10th place is Leicester City. Ooh. Maybe that's a surprise to you.
Wow.
They're no longer in a European competition, so they can focus on the Premier League, which will help them. They have a massive squad. They've done no business, but guess who they've lost? Wesley Fofana and Yuri Tielemans.
Wow.
2 key players. Fofana to Chelsea, Tielemans to Arsenal. And when you sell them to somewhat competition, it's not looking good. Even James Maddison's having links with Tottenham. I don't know why this is happening. I don't think Maddison will go. I think they're going to fall behind this time.
Wow, you're up to date with all the transfer news. I'm assuming that a couple of those players are staying. Anyway, 10th Aston Villa. 9th, I've got the Geordies, Newcastle United. They're the richest club in the world. Now, the bookmakers think they'll be 7th, but that's based upon business, isn't it, Theo? We don't know what's going to happen over the next few months.
It's not the end of the transfer window yet,
so
we don't know what Newcastle are going to do.
They brought in Sven Botman, haven't they, in centre-back. Last season, they brought in Bruno Guimaraes. What a brilliant deal that was.
I think the bookies are thinking, all right, but they're going to get an incredible winger.
I know.
So they're probably going to be the team just outside the top 6. My 9th place, we're going over to the Midlands. You put them 10th, it's Aston Villa. And the reason being, I thought their business was excellent. They got it in early. Kamara, Diego Carlos, Coutinho on a permanent. These are all players in high-pressure moments in top 5 leagues. They turn up. I'm backing Steven Gerrard to have a successful year. I believe they'll jump up 5 places from where they did last time. I think Buendia will get more game time and solidify his role, potentially as a 10, maybe on the wing. I think they'll kick on. They made some brilliant signings, and in pre-season, that's proven correct. I'm excited to see what they can do.
In 8th place, I've gone for West Ham United, and last season I was so impressed with the likes of Jared Bowen, Mikel Antonio, of course, Declan Rice. That's his shirt up. That is his shirt.
Oh yeah, this is a signed Declan Rice shirt.
They made a couple of signings. You brought in Gianluca Scamacca from Sassuolo.
Is a baller. He will bang in the goals. He's got an eye for it. He's tall. He's got pace. You've been looking at my notes once again. I've also got them in 8th position.
No. What do you think of Aguad?
I don't know as much about him. I know he's a centre-back, proven it in Ligue 1. They paid around 30 million for him. I'm excited to see how he can settle into a potential back 2, back 3 in the West Ham system. Anyone that David Moyes picks up in this team will perform. Also, I'm sure Jared Bowen is going to start the season excellently. We've got Qatar coming up, and that's going to break the season, and he wants to solidify his spot in the England squad out in the Middle East, so I think he'll start the season well.
And in 7th place, I've gone for Leicester City. Now, we disagree on this, don't we, Theo?
We do.
But last season, they had key injuries to defenders. If they don't have those injuries again, I think they'll be all right. I think 7th to 9th. They've got some good strikers in Vardy, Iheanacho and Daka. I think they'll be all right. They'll score lots of goals.
My 7th place, you're waiting for it. It's Newcastle United.
Yes.
Now, they've done less business than I've expected. They're still going to sign a solid winger.
Yeah.
Alan St-Maximin, Callum Wilson, and someone else to come. I think someone else needs to fight Almiron for his spot. That's when Newcastle prove to me that they can stick in 7th position. Bruno Guimaraes is going to have another great year. They've solidified the defence. Joelinton's going to keep dominating in midfield. I think it's a great team. Newcastle fans, you should be really excited. I can't believe you put them, Alpha, was it 9th, 10th?
Something like that.
Oh, shocking.
And in 6th place, it's the youngest squad in the league. Down to London, it is Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
And last, do you agree, Theo?
Can I point out that you and me in our early Premier League predictions before the start of the transfer window both put Manchester United in 6th?
Well, Arsenal obviously have retained the young talents such as your Smith Rowe, Gabriel Martinelli, Ødegaard, Saka. They've kept those guys and they've improved. Listen to these signings here. Gabriel Jesus. He's a man who scores a goal every 3 games for Brazil for his club. He's going to be really, really good as a replacement for Lacazette.
So why do you move them down?
Fabio Vieira, bought from FC Porto, a very exciting young talent, and Zinchenko from Man City, an unusual one this.
No, I like
those
this.
are all improvements.
Jesus has proven in pre-season that he's already going to gel and score loads of goals.
He is, Theo, but the thing is, I think Arsenal, because they're the youngest squad in the league, they lack a bit of grit and experience that I think United have got, I think Chelsea have got. I don't have the guts to put Arsenal 4th. That would be the emotional thing to do.
They won the Florida Cup, though.
No, they did.
So they're already winning, or they were top of the group.
Trophy?
They were top of the group or something. I don't know. I've not kept massively into it. They beat Chelsea 4-0 in pre-season.
Yes.
We should be speaking about them being 3rd, 2nd. The people that watch this video back 5-6 months in will prove to me why pre-season is a load of crap.
My 5th place, Theo, is Chelsea. They're having a shocking pre-season. We know what happened last season. Rudiger's gone, Christensen's gone, Lukaku didn't work out. Now, Chelsea have strengthened, haven't they, Theo?
Chelsea in
Raheem
5th.
Sterling, Koulibaly. Do you agree or not? First of
No,
all,
that's crazy.
I looked at their squad list, Theo. All of the following players are in their 30s. Mendy, Thiago, Alonso, Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Kante. At some point, they need to start getting rid of some of these players. Great names there, but they're aging.
I'm really surprised that you put Chelsea 5th. I know we did an early predictions. I know you put them 1 or 2 places higher. But the reason I've gone for Manchester United is I know they made 3 signings in Christian Eriksen, Malaysia, who I watched in, I think it was the Conference League final for Feyenoord, and Lisandro Martinez. Very good potential, holding mid, centre-back, he can play everywhere. And he's very short, and people have been roasting him about that. But he can kick ball. He's a good player. It's exactly what Manchester United needed.
Theo, you've just said 2 words that are very important. Christian Eriksen, right? And I'm going to talk about Man United soon. Bear those 2 words in mind, because that man is so transformational.
The way Ten Hag spoke to his players was really spectacular.
Yes.
He's off his touchline.
Yes.
And number one, that's already doing more than what Ralph Rangnick and the other ex-managers would do. And he's out there shouting at De Gea for kicking the ball slightly in the wrong direction. Harry Maguire, make that movement, do that. What are you doing? Like, he's getting in their face, and telling them that they're wrong on the pitch.
Yes.
No manager has the guts to do that. That is why he's up there. That's why he nearly took Ajax to a Champions League final. This guy is a killer. He wants to change United.
Well, I'm going to go straight into the top 4 with Man United there. We've already mentioned Christian Eriksen. What an incredible signing that is. I'm sure he'll get on really well with Cristiano if he stays. But think about it, Theo. Jadon Sancho, Martial, Marcus Rashford, these players can do so much more than last season. And I like the fact that Ten Hag and Man United have cleared the decks. Cavani, Mata, Matic, Pogba, Lingard, out the door. I think it's going to be a good season for Manchester United.
My prediction for Manchester United is their best way to do next season to revitalise Martial, Rashford, Sancho to be at his best. Get rid of Ronaldo. Just get him out the team and focus on the signings you've made. Focus on the youth. Bring up Rashford, give him game time. I promise you they'll turn it round. You do not need Ronaldo. My 4th place is Chelsea, and the reason I think they'll get that final Champions League spot, and I'm surprised you put them 5th. Koulibaly, brilliant. Conor Gallagher, bringing him back is like a new signing. Unbelievable at Palace last year. Raheem Sterling, I think he'll smash it.
Theo, Chelsea fans at the moment are roasting Conor Gallagher for his first touch, for his penalty-taking ability. Maybe he's not good enough.
If you're judging Conor Gallagher, a pretty shocking penalty he took during pre-season in a pointless match in a team that he's new to and a dressing room that he hasn't met that much yet because he spent a year at... I'm telling you, that is a load of rubbish. You're thinking about the short term. Chelsea will make top 4, and we'll look back on this when I'm correct.
And in third place, it's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for 2 reasons. Joe Lewis and Daniel Levy. Why? They put in 150 million quid and they've spent it on these players, Theo.
When you've got Antonio Conte as manager, you've got Champions League football from getting 4th place. You invest, and they did that.
They've done that at exactly the right time. Listen to these players. Richarlison, Yves Bissouma, Jed Spence, Clement Lenglet and Ivan Perisic.
Amazing.
That is absolutely incredible. That's transformational.
With a new 5 sub rule, to have Kulusevski and Richarlison fighting for a spot is brilliant. You've got Kane and Son that will play every minute of every game, but them two interchanging, that's part of the reason I think they'll get 3rd place.
Yeah, we've not even mentioned Kulusevski and Bentancur, and after they came in last season, things changed.
And to switch around the midfielders, to have Bissouma, and I also think Højbjerg had an incredible year last year. It was very underrated. They've got the options now in every position. Tottenham are going in the right direction, and I agree with you on 3rd place.
And in 2nd place, it has to be Liverpool Football Club, who've lost Sadio Mane, African Player of the Year. That is a big loss, isn't it, Theo? Darwin Núñez has come the other way. Carvalho's come in. You won't get much game time. Of course, you look at the Liverpool squad. There's 8 or 9 world-class players there.
It's so obvious that City will win the league. I can't even speak it.
Do you know what I did, Theo?
Yeah.
I looked at the squad list and I wrote down who are the absolute world-class players for both those clubs. And for Man City, I wrote down Edison Diaz, Cancelo, Rodri, Foden, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Grealish and Mahrez. And then you add in Erling Braut Haaland, and then you add in Calvin Phillips. How can a squad that good not win everything next season?
It's incredible. Look, their right back has the number 7 shirt.
Yes.
João Cancelo. I think that's pretty cool, by the way. It's quite fun. Get it on the screen.
And the amazing thing is, Theo, the amazing thing is, they shipped out Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. So they brought in 100 million quid and balanced the books.
Yeah, and they even brought in that Argentinian wonder kid. This City team is ridiculous, and that is why... Can we just speak a second about Liverpool?
Yes.
We must respect that they've got a very solid team, and Jurgen Klopp has retained everybody because he knows them very well, and they will go for the Premier League again. And the fact they got so close to 100 points last year and still couldn't win the Premier League, in any other generation, they would be dominating English football.
They would, Theo. Their Achilles heel going forward is the midfield. Henderson, I love him, but he's ageing. You've got Milner still going in there. Naby Keita, maybe not as good as we thought. Curtis Jones.
Next season, Bobby Firmino and Harvey Elliott will play a massive role. I think Konate proved to me at the Champions League final that he will take that role. He will be a key member of the squad next season.
Manchester City will win the Premier League by 6 to 8 points.
6 to 8 points?
Yes.
That really isn't much. I'll go 6 and under. I'll make it even closer. But Erling Braut Haaland, is he going to be the top goal scorer of the Premier League next season?
I think it will be a
Darwin
player
Núñez?
called Erling Braut Haaland. Do you think I'm going to do FPL this year?
Yes, you are. And
Wait
we're going to
and
start
see.
it by saying, join the FPL League. We are making a bigger league. Being FPL Focal, FPL Joe. We are getting 100,000 people in the league, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you're top 40, you're wearing a 48 pack of Mars bars. I'm not joking. You will win a 48 pack of Mars bars. Copy and paste it from the description. Don't be a mug. This is the biggest video of the year. Thog Dad, you've still got a massive forehead.
And you've got a taxi to the airport.
I do. I'm going to London. London town. See you later. I've got to run. I'm going to take a chair with me. I've got to go. Ah!
He's off his rocker, he is.